Today I will show you how to make this soft cardigan. It's easy to make and comfortable to wear it every day. First, we will start by preparing the ties. Fold one short end of the tie seam allowance to the wrong side and press. And fold both of the long side seam allowance to the wrong side and press. Then we will fold the tie in half, enclosing the seam allowance. Edge stitch 2 mm from the folded edge to close the tie. The ties are ready. Then we will move on to the back bodice. Make a pleat like this from the wrong side of the fabric, using the marks on the pattern as a guide. The pleat should look like this from the right side. Stitch the pleat 5 mm above the stitch line for now. Place the back bodice and the back yoke piece with the right side together. And stitch. Finish the raw edges with an overlock stitch and press the seam allowance towards the back yoke. Then we will top stitch 2 mm on the back yoke. Now, place the back bodice and the front bodice piece with the right side together. And stitch the shoulder line. Finish the raw edges with an overlock stitch and press the seam allowance towards the back yoke. Next step is sleeves. Set your sewing machine to its longest stitch length. Sew a row of basting stitches along the raw edge between the marked gathering notches. Sew a second row of basting stitches 6 mm away from the first. Pull the bobbin threads to adjust the gathers along the sleeve cap. The length of the gathers should match the marked notches on the bodice. Then, we will place the sleeve and the bodice right side together. Match and pin the notches on the sleeve and the shoulder. Sew the sleeve with a 1 cm seam allowance. Finish the raw edges with an overlock stitches. And press the seam allowance towards the bodice. Now prepare the elastics. Cut 2 pieces. You can measure your wrist for a comfortable fit. I did 22 centimeters for a size 42. Put the elastics on the marked line, which is 4 centimeters away from the wrist stitch line. Go back and forth 2 to 3 times in the beginning without stretching the elastic. Start stretching the elastic carefully and stitch. When you have stitched about 1/3 of it, stretch the elastic to the other end and stitch all the way. Now we will stitch the side seam, continuing to the underarm. Finish the raw edges with an overlock stitch. Now time to work on the facing. Place the back facing and the front facing right side together and stitch. And press the seam allowance towards the front. Now we will work on the bodice and the facing together. The bodice and the facing should be placed facing the right side together. Prepare the ties and pin the ties on the marks of the front bodice as well. Now start stitching from the bottom and around the center front towards the neckline and all the way around to the other side. At the bottom, fold the other side of the facing seam allowance to the wrong side like I am doing, and start stitching. Turn the facing over to the wrong side and press. Now, fold the other side of the facing seam allowance to the wrong side and press. Edge stitch 2 millimeters all the way around. Fold the bottom seam allowance 5 millimeters twice and then press. And stitch the bottom seam allowance. We're almost there. Fold the seam allowance of the sleeves 5mm twice too. And stitch the sleeve seam allowance. Your soft cardigan is now ready to wear. I made this cardigan with a cotton lace. It's light and feminine and perfect for warm days when you need a breezy cover-up. Thank you for watching.